Yeah, good morning everyone. Thank you for coming and welcome to Warners Bay. Um, Look, my name's Jason Oakley and I'm from the Recognise campaign. Before we get started, I'd like to invite Auntie Danny up to provide a welcome to country. Thank you.
Today I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Daniela Chedzi. Is that better? Yeah. Yep. Okay, I don't like those things. My name is Daniela Chedzi. I am a Nyampa Wanapuan Kilikalu male. So what that means is that I'm not native to this country. I'm actually from out towards Hobart. But my husband, that I've been married to for 25 years, is. He's actually from Belmont and he's an Aboriginal man. I have been asked by his father, who is the eldest of his family, to be able to do these welcome to countries. In saying that, I must admit it is a very, very important part of being recognised and being accepted within our own communities. What I was thinking about on the way here was how to explain the connection between land and country and people. So I thought about an oyster, and then I thought about a grain of sand that was actually in that oyster, and how that grain of sand became lacquered, and then it became a pearl. Now to us, as Aboriginal people, we eat the oyster and we go, that is beautiful, thank you. The white fellas look at that pearl and go, wow, what is it worth? The communication gets lost in the translation. The grain of sand is our history. The history that has been made up of stolen generations, which I am a part of. My mother is also a stolen generation. So there's 2 generations within my family that have been stolen. The times that I actually got back to being who I am and accepting my role in my community, whether it's here or out west, took some time and it took some age and it took some wisdom. And that is what we look forward to and what we acknowledge when we have elders. We wait for their wisdom. We wait to hear them tell us their stories and how they began. Just like that oyster began with a grain of sand, which became a pearl. We have to look back in history, and our stories have always gone backwards and then gone forwards. We need to be recognised. We need to be respected. We need to be holistic. We need to be together. And that means that we also have a role of responsibility, which is another R, when it comes to the people who also live in our communities, whether they are black or white or whatever race they come from. We always have looked after them. Since Captain Cook, we have looked after them. We taught them what to eat, what to hunt, where to find fresh water. We suffered for it, but we had a responsibility because they were on our land. We've taken our responsibilities very, very heavy. We've had a lot of tollage, but that's to be accepted too. We now have the chance for this recognition to go forward. We now have the chance for us and our future generations. So on behalf of my father-in-law, my husband, and his brothers and his sister, I welcome you to the land of the Awabakal people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Auntie Danny, for that beautiful welcome. I'd like to also now invite Marie Edwards up from the local council to say a few words. Thank you.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Rotunda at Warners Bay. My role at Lake Macquarie City Council is of Aboriginal Community Development Officer, and I thoroughly couldn't be supported enough by our mayor, councillors and executive. I'd like to say that we're on Awabaka land and pay respect to elders past, present and future, and all Aboriginal people that are here today, and just reflect that back in the past the Aboriginal people cared wholly and solely for this land and looked after it, because that was where all their food, their medicine, their hardware store, everything came from the land, so they've thoroughly respected Mother Earth. I'd like to welcome Morgan Cameron, our executive, and pay respect to Uncle Steve Witters, who's here today, and thank you, Daniela, for that beautiful warm welcome to country. I thank you all for giving up your time as well and coming today, and thank you, Melissa Cleary, for being here from Pat Conroy's office, Federal MP. And I'd just like to recite a little poem. It's called I Am Aborigine. How we don't use the word Aborigine anymore, but this is reflection of how our people lived. I am born of the land and my soul is the sun. Nature is my mother and I am Mother Nature's own son. The wind is my spirit, running wild and running free, and the water is my mirror, reflecting visions of me. I am like a great river that slowly runs dry. Polluted and abused, I am the river, and slowly I die. I'm a child of the earth, created from dust. I live from the land, taking only what I must. I'm a painter of walls and an artist of dreams, depicting mythological creatures and spirits in their scenes. I'm a hunter of animals, imitating their stance. I am what I hunt. I'm the spirit in the dance. I own no land, for the land owns me. For that's how it has been and how it will always be. For I am what I am. I am Aborigine. And the author of that is Stephen Clayton, who I've been given permission to recite. Thanks everybody for coming, and stay around for the barbecue and some great entertainment by New Roads.
Thank you very much, Marie, for that welcome and inspirational poem. Look, I'd also like to acknowledge the staff from Pat Conroy's office. Unfortunately, couldn't be with us as it's the final day of sitting week in the Federal Parliament. Just to give you a rundown of today's activities, I'm going to share with you a bit about the journey. Where we've been, what we've been up to, and why we're here undertaking this campaign. And then I'm going to introduce you to Uncle Steve Witters, who's going to share his thoughts and feelings about why he believes it's important that we go through this process and have these changes to the Constitution. So just to start, look, again, my name's Jason Oakley. I'm a Mulgana man from Shark Bay in Western Australia. That's my mother's family, and Dad's family is from country New South Wales, Wiradjuri country in Cowra. My grandfather spent a lot of time up here, travelling the local RSL circuits and performing under the band name of Country Outcasts. So in terms of the journey itself, we've got several teams travelling the country. We commenced the journey itself back in 2012 out of Melbourne. We've done some 315 or 14 events approximately over this time, travelling over 36,000 kilometres. The reason we're out here on the road is to make sure we take the message to the people on the ground at grassroots level. So we're here to talk about the Australian Government's rule book, which is the constitution of this country. The constitution was written in the late 1800s and was brought together and came out in 1901 when Australia was federated. Since then, we've had several key events for the country and the people, which has led to the point where we're at today. For example, we go through the 20s and 30s and down to the late 30s. We had a day of mourning. We had a group of men write a letter to the King of England at the time. They handed that to the Prime Minister, asking for recognition of the same rights as the rest of Australia. And if we move through the 40s and 50s, there were several other key events until we get to the 60s, and one of the major events and watershed moments in Australian history, the 1967 referendum, which recognised Australian Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, Aboriginal people, as being able to vote and being part of this nation. Then we through the 70s, huge events. We had the Aboriginal Tent Embassy, 72, 75, the Racial Discrimination Act. Then through the 80s, the land councils were being formed. We had medical services through the 70s as well, legal services, and into the 90s where we had a big decision around Mabo. Also had the reconciliation movement, which has taken us into the 2000s, and now to 2008 when we had the Kevin Rudd stand up and make the apology to the Indigenous people of this land, which took us into 2010, I believe, when the Gillard government had taken over. And on the agenda for the Prime Minister at the time, Gillard, was the recognition of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the Constitution. So what Prime Minister at the time did was put together a panel. This panel, which was called the Expert Panel on Recognition, spent probably 12 to 18 months on the road, visiting communities like we are today, asking the question, is there an appetite? Do we want this change? They went back to the government with a report and found overwhelmingly that yes, people want these changes. They want to acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the Constitution, but not only that, they want to make some amendments to several parts of the Constitution. That was 2011 and 12, and then the Joint Select Committee was set up in Parliament, which also had some recommendations around this. From there, that's the Recognise was set up. It was Unity in its first form, and transformed into recognising the need for change. As I mentioned, we've done 36,000 Ks. We're not here to get people to vote yes or no, or sway people in any way like that. We're here purely to inform and educate people about the need for this change and create awareness. There are several parts of this process. As I mentioned, we're awareness. The recommendations from the expert panel, one of them was to set up a referendum council, which would then ask the question, what will the question be when we put this to referendum? The referendum council is yet to be announced. That could be days, could be weeks. This is a government process. The Prime Minister and the opposition leader are making those calls as we speak. And look, for us, we'd hope it's sooner rather than later. And we can get on with continuing to do the awareness. And the referendum council will then sit down and undertake some conventions, ask the questions, and Tony Abbott, when he was Prime Minister, one of the dates that he seen as a positive date for the referendum was May 27, 2017, which would be the 50th year anniversary of the 1967 referendum. But look, these processes do take time, and there are a lot of things to go through between now and then. going to have time for questions later. What I'd like to do now is invite Uncle Steve Witters up to have a conversation with you about his journey and why he supports the campaign and why he believes that we should move forward with these changes. So please welcome Uncle Steve. Thanks.
Right. Thank you. That's good, thanks. Can you hear me there? That's good because I can't see you. Thanks very much, Jace. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and girls and boys and dogs. There's a few over there. I meant the ones that were, the little ones that were in front of me there. Thank you, Maria and Daniela, for your welcome to the country. And I acknowledge that I'm on the land of the Awabakal people, and I honour their resilience and their strengths, and certainly their sustainability, and their ingenuity, and their innovation, and their concern for their communities that allowed them to survive for many thousands of years here, the Awabakal people. I myself, I'm a gentleman from the snow country, and I said yesterday it sounds like I'm in the snow country here, but the weather goes wherever, follows you wherever you go. I'm from the snow country, northern tablelands, around Armidale. It's called Armidale, that's the white fella's name. The traditional name is Anawan, and I'm an Anawan man from there with strong connections to the Kamilaroi people. And I think, as Danielle pointed out, it's important to acknowledge that we are on Aboriginal ground, that our ancestors have been here for thousands of years. They've nurtured this country, they've managed it. The best environmentalist in the world, the best water conservationist, the engineers, best planners ever, the best hunters. They've got a lot of significant attributes that allowed them to survive here for a long time, and I'd like to honour that. And in honouring that, I too am acknowledging that we've been around for a long time. Certainly prior to 1880, 1770 and 1901. And that's not recognised in the Australian Constitution. The fact that we're the oldest living surviving culture on the planet. And it's not recognised in what I call the birth certificate of white Australia. And please, when I say white Australia, I ask that the non-Aboriginal people here don't get offended by anything I say. The fact that you're here shows that you're interested. So you wasn't here in 1901, you can't be held responsible for what any people did back in those days, and neither can we. But I don't want to dwell on the past either. What I am talking about is the future. We have to change the past and acknowledge the past, and there's been mistakes made in the past, but what we have to be looking forward to is the future. So this document was written back in 1901. It was worked on for about 15 years by a group of white men with no relevance to women and very little relevance to Aboriginal people, none, in fact none. Didn't recognise that Aboriginal people had been here for a long time, and all of those things I just said about the Aboriginal people of this country, about them being here for a long time, and they lived in harmony with the land. They was a very multicultural country, and if you don't believe that, I got welcome to country here today, and you get welcome to country everywhere you go. So there's about 300 different countries in Australia. Before any white man ever come in. So the Constitution doesn't recognise that, and it was written in 1901, and it was a very racist one, and doesn't give any recognition to the original inhabitants of the country. It's a simple thing that I say that nothing changes while nothing changes, and a referendum is a way to change things. As Jason pointed out, 67, there was a lot of work that had to be done to get to that point. It didn't start in a year before, it started at least 40 years before, and got a lot of momentum and a lot of impetus when people like William Ferguson and William Patton and William Cooper, Aboriginal men who said, wrote a letter to the King and said, we want recognition as the original inhabitants of this country. And this was 37 years after the Constitution had been written. Nothing happened, but there was a lot of support from educators, from the trade unions, from community groups, from churches, organisations, community organisations to say, let's go for a referendum. Work on the referendum began back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. My grandparents, their generation, my great-grandparents and their generation, they were there. They were part of this. And all the non-Aboriginal people too were part of this. They were citizens of the country and said we have to change that part of the Constitution which didn't allow for the Commonwealth to make rules or policy about Aboriginal people. And it worked. It worked for a number of reasons. 92% of the population voted in favour of changing it. And that was the biggest swing or biggest vote, yes vote, of any referendum ever held in Australia. In the past there's been 44 different referendums, only 8 of them have been successful. And the most successful one was the 1967 one. And that took a lot of work. And what my grandparents were doing and the generations back in the 40s and 50s, what they're doing, I guess we're doing the same thing today. They stood up and they believed that there was a future for Aboriginal people in this country. And they wanted to encourage and inform and advise the rest of the community that it was up to the people to change that. Politicians can't do it. Parliamentarians can't do it. It's not in the Constitution. They can't do it. They have to take it to the voters, and that's what supporters of the '67 referendum did back then. Took it to the voters. They did a lot of things without email, without mobile phones, without Twitter, without Facebook, without all the communication that we have now, and 92% of the population come out. That was due, I think, in part to the people like Charles Perkins and the Freedom Riot in '65. They brought to light the social disadvantage and the racism and the discrimination that was happening all around Australia, but they brought to light on the Freedom Riot, particularly here in New South Wales. And that made more people aware. It got in the psyche of the general Australian population. And I think that made a big change. It had a big impact on the '67 referendum, when 92% of the country comes out in favour. And I think the direction of Aboriginal Australia changed then. It changed more in 1972. I think most of us here were probably around at that time. For those who weren't, 1972 was a big year. There was a government elected, and a government who listened to Aboriginal people, who listened to the young men and women at the Tent Embassy outside Canberra, outside Parliament House, and they also listened to the 92% of the people that voted at the referendum. And they said Aboriginal people need better opportunities for education and employment and housing. They need medical services. They need legal services. They need social justice. And things changed from there. And I believe, as a result of that '67 referendum and the interest and the support that the wider Australian population gave in those years, we as Australians have that same opportunity to give official recognition in the white Australia's birth certificate to Aboriginal people. And I say recognition in and racism out. And if we continue to want to live under a document that was written in 1901 and has no relevance, in this aspect anyway, has no relevance to 2015, it's up to us to change it. And that's why I'm a supporter of it. I'm not only an Aboriginal person, but I'm an Australian person, and I exercise my freedom and the right to vote to make a difference, to effect change. And I'd like to encourage all people to give serious consideration to thinking about learning more about the Constitution and making your choice on informed information when the time comes. Of course, at the moment we don't have a question and we don't have a model. But there will be opportunities, and Jason pointed out the Prime Minister is likely to announce that soon. But you can never rely on governments. Somebody got their hand up asking a question? We're going to get it in a minute. Give them that opportunity in a minute. The government, they will decide when it's going to be on, but it's not their obligation, it's not their responsibility. Sorry? It's not their role to make the question or to set up the model. It comes from us. Did that go off? Can you hear me? I'm thrown away by that. I can't hear. Oh, that's what's distracting me. Distracted me, yeah. Yeah, righto. Can you hear me over there, though?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, righto, because I'm just worried that you can't hear me. Now, where was I up to? It's not the government. The government can't do it. They support this. They support the movement because we're responsive to the expert panel's recommendation that, yes, there needs to be a movement. Yes, there needs to be a referendum to change it. And that expert panel travelled around for, as Jason pointed out, 18 months. And every person in this country had the opportunity to go and offer either their support or their comments or their criticism or any objection they had to it or any suggestions. And the government was responsive to what the people were saying. And a good government should be doing that. Responsive and flexible enough to take into account what people are saying. So if that expert panel recommended that there be no movement, it wouldn't be happening. But they're responsive to the what the people said. And that meant the birth of Recognise. And our role today, as it has been all around Australia in the last 3 years, is to come to you as grassroots members of the community, to let you know what's happening, to give you some information that can help you form your opinion so that you can make an informed and advised vote decision when the vote time comes around. We're not here, and we can't do it, to answer all of your questions. We're merely here to educate and let you know that it's going to be happening, but we can't give you the date and we can't give you the question or the model. But over the next, and I'm suggesting, I'm predicting, over the next 10 months, and I'm saying 10 months because there's a federal election due in September next year, but I'm saying in 10 months' time, over the next 10 months, there'll be opportunities for all Australians to attend conventions and conferences to help form the model and help get the wording right for the referendum when it does happen, for the question. Everybody's got that opportunity, and I said yesterday, this is a people's movement. It's not a government one, it's not a parliamentarian one. The Constitution doesn't allow for that. It's up to the people. You and me. You and me equals us. So it's up to us to decide. And I know some Aboriginal people have opposed it and saying, here's the government telling us what to do again, and they're making a decision about it. Not so. Every Aboriginal person has got the right and the opportunity, and Jason just said it's starting to rain, so I better stop. I don't think it's going to stop the rain though, but anyways, it's up to us. We've got the right to do it, we have to exercise it. I'll leave it there. We're going to be around for a while. You don't want to listen to me all day, and you don't want to get wet all day either. So I'll leave it there, and we'll take some questions, I guess. Jason, is that right? Righto, Jason's going to come back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uncle Steve. So a couple of things. We're gonna have a feed
Thank you.
a little bit later. So what is it that we want to change in the Constitution? As I mentioned, we want to acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and we also want to remove section 25, which I'm not sure if you're all aware of what's in section 25 of the Constitution. So that's the section for state governments. The federal government has given state governments the power to ban any race from voting in their state elections and local elections. We also want to make amendments to section 51, paragraph 26, which allows the federal government to make special laws for people based on race. Now, there's some good points to that and some negative points to that. So we want to, obviously the amendments want to be made so that they can continue to do some of the good work, because we do still need those special laws, for things such as native title. How can you get involved? How can you continue to support? If you come over, you can sign up. Follow us on the web, Facebook. These conventions we may need volunteers. We're going to continue to need volunteers. We're working very closely with a lot of tertiary institutions. Ask us any questions you want. We're going to be around for a while, having a feed. But come up here and have a look at some of the resources that we've got. We've got copies of the small constitution, so you can have a bit of a read through and you can see the references that I'm talking about. Now, I've got another mic here, so if anyone has any questions, we've got several staff around, but now would be the time to ask any questions if you'd like to ask. Is anyone out there want to ask a question? Yep.
Can you hear now? Yeah. What is the actual difference between having our recognition in the Constitution versus treaty? Because originally, if we go backwards again, like I was saying before, we haven't even had a treaty. We haven't even really sat down with everybody from the heads of different families even to work out, what could be as far as a treaty goes. I'm just curious. Personally, I'd like to see a treaty, then I'd like to see recognition. That to me is the most important thing. I'll explain why. It might sound a bit strange to some people, because I am only a young elder. I wasn't allowed to go to primary school. I wasn't allowed to go to public school. They said she has to have her TB shots and you have to bring the certificate back, even as an adopted child. Went and got the TB shots at Parramatta Hospital, brought the certificate back to Chester Hill Primary School, and still got knocked back. So I didn't have the privilege of having a public school education. My parents ended up putting me through private school because that's what had to be done at that point in time. But that was still in 1969. So there's a lot of reasons why I'd like to see treaty versus recognition and change within the Constitution. Yes, I understand that we need it, but I would like to see a treaty formed between clans and mobs, and as well as present and future governments.
Thanks, Jenny. You there, Jenny? Jenny, as I understand it, your question actually you prefer why isn't there a treaty instead of recognition?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, and that question has been asked before. Now I'm going to give an opinion on it. It may not necessarily be the right one. Nothing's right or wrong here, and this is why it's important for people to, like yourself, to go to the conventions and the conferences and bring it up there. As I mentioned, we're here to educate and let people know that it's going to be happening, and we're very aware that there is opposition to it, particularly from Aboriginal people, and we're empathise about your situation. And let me tell you, you're not alone in that either, because there are thousands of others who feel the same way. My opinion about that is that, and this is the personal opinion too, it's not necessarily supported by the movement, but I'll just give you a bit of advice. A treaty, a treaty would be well within reach by a group of people that are recognised. What I'm saying, if we get recognition first, and a treaty will come easier. The government will say, well, everybody in Australia wants this, we want to move towards a treaty. And we do recognise these people as the original inhabitants of the country. And I think it'll be a lot easier to get a treaty and sovereignty once recognition is given first. That's an opinion. It's not shared by everybody, but that's why it's a people's movement, this. And if people like yourself are feeling that way, you need to be going to the conventions and saying so. But I feel, and I'm very supportive of it, get recognition first. It'll make it a lot easier to get a treaty. That's what I feel. But I do feel too, Jenny, you're not the only person who is in that situation. There are thousands of others like that as well. But thanks for your support. Thanks for your interest.
Okay, any more questions from anyone? Down the back? No? Anyone? Look, as I mentioned before, several staff members around here. We've got some resources. Have a look, have a read, come and ask us questions. We're going to be around, what's the time? Sorry? Just after 12, so we're here for another hour. By all means, come and utilise our time here and have a conversation. I'd just like to finish off by, again, thanking Auntie Danny for the beautiful welcome and having us here. And I'd also like to thank all of you for your time and your support for this campaign. So enjoy the rest of the afternoon and come and enjoy our food. Thank you. There's going to be a bit of music on in the background too, so enjoy yourself. Sorry. Any comments, discussion, or no? Oh, one more. Sorry, come through that.
Just a quick question. Do you fear that constitutional recognition might be a Trojan horse in some way? That there's benefits with everything, but there's also negatives, if that makes sense.
You asked, do we feel that? No, is a short answer, because the movement for recognition is in response to what Aboriginal people have said. So if there's, at least 3/4 of the Aboriginal population in support of it, I don't think it will be a Trojan horse. And I think that a lot of the non-Aboriginal community have already shown that they're in support of it as well. And quite frankly, governments don't put up referendums if they're not going to get a win. And that's what happened back in 1967. And I also said that there was only 8 out of 44 referendums have been passed. But it really comes back to the people, up to you and me, because we're us. It comes to us. And this is part of our journey, is to let people know what it's all about, so that you can make an informed decision when the time comes. And if people don't exercise the right to vote, well, they're failing in their responsibility as a citizen of this country. And it's really, the responsibility comes back to us. And I say, no, I don't think it'll fail. I don't think it'll be a Trojan horse at all if the people drive it. And that's what we're about.
Thank you. One more comment here? Yep, okay.
Hello, I wanted to inquire, what is the percentage needed for the referendum to be passed? Is it only 51%?
Hello, yep. So with the referendum, what's going to be needed is a double majority. So majority of the states need to vote yes, and a majority of the people in those states. So with the 6 states, we need 4 of those states to get over the line. So Western Australia, New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, for example. Yeah, so double, like majority of the people, majority of the states, yeah. Any more further questions? Like I said, we're here for a little bit, having a feed, so if you've got something you'd like to ask us personally, by all means come up and join us. Come and have a look at the resources, and once again, thank you very much for your time, and enjoy your afternoon. Thank you.
And join our spirits with pride. Listen to the dream time. Listen to the old ones say, we are from the dust and molded from the clay. Be proud of who you are. Hold your heads up high. Look to the sky and try not to cry. Be proud of who you are. Hold your heads up high. Look to the sky and try not to cry. Try not to cry. Try not to cry. Listen to the wind. Hear the words go by. The voices of our people saying one spirit, one body, one mind. Join this sacred land that God gave to each Aboriginal man. It's time to come together, walking hand in hand. Be proud of who you are. Hold your heads up high. Look to the sky and try not to cry. Be proud of who you are. Hold your heads up high. Look to the sky and try not to cry. Try not to cry. Try not to cry. Thank you. It's not too hot today. It's beautiful. The weather's lovely, you know. And we just hope the rain holds back until things are, you know, finished up here for the day. But it's lovely to welcome all you people here and my people, and we all come together as one and mingle and join each other with conversation and, you know, different opinions and stuff like that. And it's good to do that. And it's just good to be here and can hear some of the music from our brother here, Raymond. He's a beautiful songwriter and a singer. Come from a talented family that are musicians and artists, artwork as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Cass. Gee, I hope I can hold a tune for you today after that introduction. Thanks, Cass. Here's a little song I wrote. It's a goodbye song. It's a anyone you've lost special in your life. I lost my mum about 15 years ago through cancer, and it's a little song I wrote. Well, I never thought this would happen to me. I know what I'm supposed to do. I fall to my knees and just call out your name. Can you hear me calling? Can you hear me calling out? Can you hear me calling? Can you hear me calling out your sweet name? Take a look what's going on around you. I'll pick up a little piece every day. Those years just keep on rolling by. I'm seeking your light in my life. Can you hear me calling? Can you hear me calling out? Can you hear me calling? I'm calling out your sweet name. Can you hear me calling out? 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 calling your sweet name, your sweet name. Thank you. Here's an old song. It's been redone by a bloke named Darius Rucker, American fella. It's called Wagon Wheel. Headed down south to the land of the pine, throwing my way to North Carolina. I'm staring up the road, I pray to God I see headlights. Landed down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers. Well, I'm hoping for a rally to see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. So rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. I'm running from the cold up in New England. I was born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. My baby plays a guitar, but I pick the banjo now. Oh no, country winners keep getting me down. Lost my money playing poker, well I had to leave town. Well I ain't turning back, living this old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. So rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Hey, mama, rock me. Thank you.
This is a bit of Pointer Sisters here. Those who know them, grew up with them. I'm riding in your car. You turn on the radio. You're pulling me close. I just say no. Oh, I say I don't like it, but you know I'm a liar. 'Cause when we kiss, ooh, fire. Oh, late at night, you're taking me home. You say you wanna stay. I say I wanna be alone. Oh, I say I don't love you, but you know I'm a liar. 'Cause when we kiss, ooh, fire. Kisses like fire. You got a hold on me right from the start. A grip so tight I couldn't tear it apart. A nerves all jumping, acting like a fool. The kisses they burn, but my heart stays cool. Oh, Romeo and Juliet, Samson and Delilah. Well, baby, you can bet the Commitments called Chain of Fools. It's an Aretha Franklin old song, but it's, yeah. Great soul singer. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Yeah. A chain of fools. For 5 long years, I thought you were my man. But I found out I'm just a link in your chain. You got me where you want me. I ain't nothing but your fool. You treated me mean. Oh, babe, you treated me cruel. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Yeah, a chain of fools. Now every chain has got a weaker link. I might be a weak child, oh, but I give you strength. Now you tell me to leave you alone. My papa says, come on home. My doctor said, take it easy. But your loving is much too strong. I'm added to your chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Yeah, a chain of fools. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Yeah, a chain of fools. One of these mornings, that chain is gonna break. But up until then, yeah, I'm gonna take all I can take. Oh yeah, chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Yeah, a chain of fools. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying the meal up the back there. Some sausage hot dogs. But yeah, sit and relax and enjoy and mingle around.
Here's another song I wrote about, probably about 8 months ago. I wrote this song. When we started the band, a few comments from different friends and mates, and then, you sure you're not going through a midlife crisis, Ray? And I went, no, just want to play in a band, I love the music. So this song's about that. Well, we started out just playing on that old guitar. With my friends and family, harmony came to. It can take you to a better place. It can open up your heart. I'm just getting ready for a little show. And the sun don't shine like it used to. And the rain don't fall like it did. We don't laugh and smile like we used to. When we were younger. When we were younger. Well, my woman said to me, I'm not feeling good tonight. I said, come on out, all your friends will be there too. Well, we'll play all those songs you like to get you on the dance floor. Well, I'm just getting ready for a little show.
Hey, can I just ask where you're filming
And the
from?
sun don't shine like it used to. And the rain don't fall like it did.
That's alright. That's right. So is that
We don't laugh and smile like we used to. When we were younger.
Yeah.
When we were younger.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. Cool. And do you just do this kind of stuff normally?
Well, we started out just playing on that old guitar.
New
My
Roads
friends and
and
family harmony came to.
And you?
You can't take you to a better place. You can open up your heart. Well, I'm just getting ready for a little show. And the sun don't shine like it used to, and the rain don't fall like it did. We don't laugh and smile like we used to when we were younger, when we were younger. Well, I'm just getting ready for a little show. Thank you.